I want to make this video because it's about day trading, support, and resistance. I want to make this video and make it real quick because I realized I posted like 2 day trading videos and you guys actually love it. And I said, okay, let's talk about more about support and resistance. So this is one of my strategies that I like. So when it comes to support and resistance, um, support is basically like the ceiling, and resistance is basically the ceiling, and support is basically the floor. So basically, all I do is this. I'm gonna keep this quick. When it's come to trading, uh, so say I got to trade tomorrow. I look at the charts today, and I look at not just the charts from the day. Maybe like I look on like all my time frames, and I look like on the daily, the weekly, the monthly, and maybe 3 months. And I write down all my levels. I write down all the resistance levels I'm going to look out for. I'm going to look at all the support levels I'm going to look out for. Okay, number one, that's we got it written down. Support and resistance levels. Cool. We got the levels written down. Now, when the market opens the next day at 9:30, all we're going to do is just be patient. We're going to wait the first like 15 to 30 minutes, see how the market reacts, and I'm going to use a strategy with that support and resistance. So I'm not just using support and resistance alone. I'm using my 2 indicators and candlestick patterns. Because I know when you mention indicators, the traders they probably think, "Oh man, there's nothing wrong with indicators." But um, so basically, I use the MACD and I use the MACD and I use the RSI. So before the market is even open, I'm looking at like pre-market highs and lows as well. And when the market opens and before the market opens, I'm looking at the trend. I'm looking at the trend because even just because the trend is up in the pre-market, the trend could go from a downtrend in the open market. So that's why I wait the first 15 to 30 minutes to see on all my charts. I look at on all my time frames to see, are we looking bullish right now or are we looking bearish? So I'm looking on the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 15 minute, the 30 minute, the 1 hour, and the 4 hour. Once I look at the trend on all of each time frames, I just go back to my 1 minute to trade, and that's it. I don't look at them no more because I know the trend already. And I just patiently wait to see how it reacts the first 15 to 30 minutes in the market and see, does it go up to resistance? So if it goes up to resistance, I basically see if I see any of my candlestick patterns. It could be like a double top. It could be like, or it could just be like a regular and it go down or whatever. But I'm looking at for a double top, and I'm looking for patterns like the hanging man candlestick, the shooting star candlestick, bearish engulfing candlesticks. I'm looking for patterns like that at resistance. I'm also, while it's at that resistance, I'm looking for those patterns I just said. While I'm looking for that, I'm trying to see, is the RSI like overbought? Like, is it like at 70? And when it gets that resistance, is it slowly going from like 70 to 65 to 60 to 50 to 55 to 40, stuff like that? So I'm looking at the RSI, is it dropping as well? And while I'm looking at all that as well, I'm looking at my MACD. So the MACD, if the MACD crossed below the signal line, that means it's a sell signal. Not every time, though, it's a sell signal. And I'm not a financial advisor, by the way. But not every time it's a sell signal because stuff can reverse and you know how the market could go anytime. But most of the time, when I get it at a good resistance, the MACD crosses below the signal line. And I say, okay, everything's adding up. My setup is adding up. It's at a resistance. I see it's at a resistance. I see like a pattern. It's about to go down. The RSI is dropping. The MACD cross below the signal line. You know, like I'm seeing my candlestick patterns at that resistance, which is basically my patterns, which I've talked about. And I said, okay, it's time to enter a put. Once we enter that put, I'm trying to stay in there for like the first 5 to 10 minutes, and then call it a day, and leave it as it is, and relax for the rest of the day. So it goes down after that resistance. And I enter a put, and I have a rule. If I lose a trade and it go to 50 because I don't use a stop loss, if it goes to negative 50, I get out the trade automatically. If it don't go my way, it goes to $50, negative $50. But it goes down. If it goes down, it keeps going down. I let it go down. Maybe like usually it'll go down like $1 or $2, the SPY or whatever. I let it go down within 5 or 10 minutes. make $150 or $200, and I'm done for the day. And one thing I'm learning is don't look at the charts no more after that. I'll write my notes down later, and that'll be it. But that's all I do. I just be patient, write down my levels, and once it hit those levels, see how I react. If it's my setup, take it. If it's not my setup, I'm not going to take it. You know what I mean? So if it's my setup, I'm going to take it, you know? And I'm going to follow my rules. And if I lose, I lose. If I don't, I don't. But if I lose, I'm not going to. I got good risk management. So like I said, if I'm negative 50, I'm out. I'm out. Automatically, I'm out. That's my new rule that I've been doing. But yeah, overall, that's all I do. I keep it simple. Like other people got different strategies. That's my strategy that's been keeping me profitable. Write down my levels the day before. Wait to get to those levels. If I see my setup, do it, and we out. So I'm gonna explain it one last time. So I'm gonna show y'all. Let me get my book. Okay. Let's say same thing, vice versa for support, but we're gonna talk about resistance right now. So as support, I wait for it to run up to support. If I see this hanging man, or if I see this shooting star, or even if I just see a long red candlestick sometimes, and I see like 2 or 3 more after that, I'll enter, or whatever. I'll enter. And when that usually happens, though, if you see a lot of my setups, when I won from doing puts at resistance, you always see like the MACD cross below the signal line. Like 9 times out of 10, when I enter that, you always see the MACD cross below the signal line. I see my candlestick patterns, and the RSI is always dropping, and I get out. So for support, I let the market run down. And wait for it to come back up as support. I wait for it to come back up. Yeah, I let it go. I'm all over the place. I'm just excited to talk about this. So basically, I let it run down. I let it go all the way down to support at my level. And then after that, I may see one of my candlesticks and the MACD crosses above the signal line. And then I see the RSI rising and I see my candlestick. Maybe I may see a hammer at that support over here. I may see one of these, a bullish engulfing, bearish 3-line strike, which is a bullish signal. And I may see one of these candlesticks at support. The MACD's adding up, the RSI's adding up. I enter the trade and I get out once I take profit because I don't want to get greedy. I let it run up for like a little bit because I don't need to let it run 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I let it run for like 5 to 3 minutes. Made $100 in like 10 minutes. So, and then I call it a day. That's basically it. It's nothing else to do after that. Now I think about it, there's nothing else to do. And that's how you support resistance. I hope I didn't confuse y'all, but that's basically what I do. Just start off first writing down your levels. Write down the support and resistance levels that you see on the charts. And then after you do that, you see your levels, see a candlestick pattern. You may see a candlestick pattern at that support, and you may see a candlestick pattern at that resistance. And you don't have to use indicators, but I like to use indicators because it helps me, because every time when I do get in that support or resistance, it's always the MACD either going above the signal line or below the signal line, and it's always the RSI rising or dipping when I'm doing support and resistance. I can look at my charts. But yeah, like once I know what the trend is in, I'm like, oh yeah, we looking for this. But yeah, the market can reverse at any time too. I do know that. The market can reverse at any time. So that's why I prepared. Sometimes if the market is bullish and I see, we about to change it to bearish, into a bearish trend, I say, okay, sometimes I do that. But most likely I like to trade like when we're in a bearish trend. I like, okay, now let's look for puts. If I'm in a bullish trend, we look for calls and stuff like that. But other than that, that's really all to it. I'm gonna read y'all this too. I got it written down anyway. I'm gonna read y'all my pre-market routine and my open market routine. I hope y'all enjoy this too. It's one of my favorite setups. Man, I got so many candlestick patterns. I'm fired right now. Okay, let me read y'all the pre-market routine. This is a pre-market routine. Look for pre-market highs and lows that are tested or in general. Look for news in the market and stocks. Look at news in the market and stocks before open on tradingeconomics.com. Let's see. Um, let's see. Look on time frames to see is the market in downtrend or uptrend. And same for stocks I'm trading. So yeah, in the pre-market, like I said, I'm looking for if the market's in uptrend. In the last one, be calm and patient because you don't want your emotions to get the best of you. So let's look at the market routine now. Market open routine. Be calm and patient. Wait 15 or 30 minutes and see if stock goes up to resistance and drop or goes to support and bounce. And watch to see if support and resistance levels are broken. Number 3 that I got on here for my market open routine, watch how candles and indicators are when it gets to support and resistance levels. So I'm looking for my pattern. I'm looking for my setup once it gets to support and resistance. And then, yeah, that's basically it. Now I got right here, wait for reverse when levels hit and notice change in direction. So yeah, when it gets to that resistance I wrote down, I'm seeing how is it reacting. Is it looking weak? It don't want to go higher? Okay, let's be patient. I see a hanging man. I see a double top. MACD cross below the signal line. The RSI dropping as well. That's my setup. Let's enter puts. And we done for today. $200 just like that. But this stuff ain't easy. It takes a lot of training. And it takes a lot of patience. That's one thing I'm learning. You know what I mean? Because it's been a month since I traded. I took a break because I was trading for a whole year. I need a break, all right? I'm tired. But overall, that's it for this video. Enjoy. Yeah.